Alrighty, so if you guys saw my video yesterday, obviously, I uploaded a video talking about Loomian Legacy's, communication and all of the issues basically wrapped in a little 10-minute video with a little bow on top, alright? And ever since then, thank you guys, number one, for the support on that video. Obviously, a lot of great comments came from that video. A lot of people turned into Confucius, which was definitely interesting to see. But it seems that a lot of people just agreed with the general sentiment from the video. Now, obviously, there are going to be those that have a differing opinion to that, and obviously, that is completely fine. However, a Loomian Legacy developer has actually responded to the situation itself with their own take. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything that they said, debunking a lot of stuff, and offering a different perspective that I don't think that they see. Of course, I do have to mention, do not go out of your way to attack any people mentioned in this video. Obviously, this is just a response, and again, to hopefully bring better light to this situation. Now, what was the message that was actually posted? Well, the developer Orchestra Cat went out in the Loomian Legacy Discord and said, "Personally, and honestly speaking, I think that criticism is okay in healthy amounts. Thoughts of the players are important in some aspect. Under normal circumstances, they help show us the direction needed to go for the future roadmaps and updates. There's valid constructive criticism, and then there's invalid destructive criticism, most of which we've seen in the LL community from big names fall under destructive criticism. I don't know what the current drama is about swirling around LuckyHD you mentioned, but it seems silly in my opinion. So let's break this down piece by piece." Now, starting out with the first paragraph, they mention that criticism is okay in healthy amounts. And while I do agree, at the same time, whenever people do go out in the Loomian Legacy community, and even if there is, criticism in healthy amounts, a lot of the times, again, they still don't listen to it. There have been, cases in the past, but it is more had to do with actual, in-game Loomian Legacy stuff, and not the overall state of Llama Train Studio. For example, things like the Dregadine raids and all that stuff, just very, very minor stuff like that, but again, even then, that stuff happens very rarely. However, I have a very, very big problem with the next two sentences. There's valid constructive criticism, and then there's invalid destructive criticism, most of which we've seen in the Loomian Legacy community from big names falls under destructive criticism. Now, I can already just... This just goes to show that these developers are not in tune with the community. Okay? And a lot of this you'll notice from Loomian Legacy developers, a lot of the blame gets placed onto YouTubers. A lot of YouTubers, like myself, like Armenti, like others, we have tried to do as much as we can behind the scenes in the past to make Loomian Legacy a better game. A lot of Loomian Legacy's quality of life features came from YouTubers. Even things like the Atlantean City poster puzzles, stuff like that, these really engaging leaks, that was actually created by me. So again, this goes to show that YouTubers and other people, we do want to help. But out of all of these good ideas, maybe about 1 out of every 10 actually goes through to them, and the other ones, which it's not me just saying to say, but they actually are good and simple ideas that would fix a lot of issues with Loomian Legacy, and they just brush them off. From what I've seen in the past and talking to developers personally, they are very about actually putting in either fan-made ideas or ideas that are not their own. And this especially goes for the YouTubers like myself who have tried to actually reach out to T-Bradum to help fix these communication issues. I'll actually share some DMs that I've never shown publicly before. And this DM started off with me saying to T-Bradum, "I'm gonna keep it 100% honest. Stuff has to change, and that change must start with you. Your communication with the entirety of Loomian Legacy is honestly getting absurd, and there needs to be things put in place to fix that. Your game is a ticking time bomb right now. The amount of mismanaged leaks, hype, etc. is making the entire community pretty upset. If you don't start showing you're willing to commit, your game is going to get ran into the ground. Simple as that." Now, what did I get as a response to that? Well, I got blocked on Discord, so I edited the message that said, "Unblock me." Now, afterwards, I said, "Are you ready to have an actual conversation about this now?" And he basically said no, and that he can't touch Twitter right now because it is affecting his mental health. And again, this is the exact type of thing that I wanted to help him fix, because I even said as well, I get that. The community is just pissed off because of the lack of communication, which is what I want to help you fix. I've tried 3 times now, and have been ghosted every single time. And what did he respond with? Well, he responded with nothing. So again, it goes to show that people like T-Bradum, you know, they do not want help actually fixing their communication. Again, whatever that reason may be, we don't really know. When it comes to Llama Train Studio, again, in general, like I said in my other video, things have been getting slightly better. However, it is starting to get to a point where it is too late. Because the community is already furious, and this is what I will bring back to when it comes to the message that Orchestra Cats sent. They said, most of which we've seen in the Loomian Legacy community from big names falls under destructive criticism. Now, I'm gonna put this out here right now. There would not be destructive criticism if the Llama Train Studio developers listened to the constructive criticism in the first place. Do you see what I'm getting at here? When you sit there and you have a community full of people and they're saying, hey, there's issues with this and there's issues with this. Hey, when are we gonna get this? Can we please, you know, get some communication with this? And you kind of brush it off. What do you think happens? People start to get upset, and those emotions influence their criticisms about the game, and that's when things start to turn destructive. And at the end of the day, it's not even just communication as to why people are starting to lean more towards destructive criticism. I mean, you think about the release date for Atlantean City Part 2, how much that has been tossed around, and basically, you know, we've all been practically gaslit at this point into believing that it's coming out on these certain dates, and then they just pull it back from us, and then they put out a new date and pull it back from us. You see why people start to get mad, and again, like I said, start to let their emotions influence the game. If there was a sense of just, I don't know, responsibility, alright, there was a sense of responsibility within the Llama Train Studios development team. I don't care who puts it out on the Twitter account, but if they just go out and they say, hey, listen, we know we haven't been that honest with you, and we haven't been that communicative with you. We are aiming to actually, you know, start to take strides to improve on this, and start to actually bring you guys more frequent updates. People wouldn't be as mad. Oh, but wait a minute. They have put messages out like that before. And what ends up happening? They do what they say for the first week, 2, 3, and then they stop. So, do we see why Loomian Legacy has such an issue with destructive criticism? Again, at the end of the day, it just boils down to Loomian Legacy not being able to follow through with basically anything at this point, and that is why so many people have lost faith in Loomian Legacy and Loomian Legacy's future. Again, a lot of this stuff is, you know, stuff that I talked about in the previous video, so again, go watch that. But yeah, I mean, this message right here, though I do appreciate the input, I think it is from a very, very narrow perspective, because, you know, they are the developer who probably is not on Twitter that much and is not on this side of the community. You know what I mean? And you can sit there and say that, oh, well, we might not understand the Loomian Legacy side of things. And to that I would say, exactly. Now, I was going to end up the video right here, but Llama Train Studio actually put out a leak for their new Soulburst system. But this kind of reinforces the point that I had just mentioned about we will never truly know what goes on behind the scenes at Llama Train Studio, because with this new leak being put out, it has kind of, you know, made me think, how could all of this, you know, Soulburst stuff have taken 2+ years? You know what I mean? Like, what were they doing in that time to the point where it would have warranted 2+ years? You know what I mean? But I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it is obviously nice that we are getting news finally about Soulburst, and obviously some stuff is coming out about it now, which is really, really good to see. And also, once again, thank you to Orchestra Cats for providing their entire opinion on it. When it comes to actually, you know, listening to the community, it seems that they do, but a lot of the other people on the team, again, primarily Brad and Lando and all that stuff, don't seem to. But again, maybe I'm wrong, but I guess we'll never know.